Hello, everyone. This is Twintalk Podcast. Music written and produced by Leo DeKine. My name's Troy. Next to me is my brother Andrew, and this is the Twintalk Podcast. Hi, everybody. We're back. This is Twintalk Podcast. I'm Troy. And I'm Andrew. And today, we're going to talk about how it is to live independently with a disability. So we'll start off with how this came to tuition. So we're both 30 years old with Duchenne, and we wanted to live independently and have our own lives and have our own things. So we got together with our family and we spoke about maybe us getting an apartment and with our roommate who also has DMD. So we talked about it with family and we looked for places, checked out places, got a apartment down in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. And since that time, we've been living independently. I will get. I'm going to get into more into depth of like what we have to do to even live independently, like having being able to find PCAs, nurses, even having a good support system behind us to help us live independently and the dream of living independently. So yeah, like Andrew said, we moved in, we found shopped for apartments, found the perfect place, and it was actually crazy part. It was during the pandemic, so we moved in and it went from there. Yeah, we started during the pandemic, and we were living with our dad in our apartment at first. At first, for a couple of months until we transitioned to being with caretakers. Yeah, and eventually it was difficult of living because we wanted to live independently. We didn't want our parents there, our father there. Eventually, we kicked them out. The pandemic started to get better. People started coming back to work, so we got our support staff. Like I gotta tell you, living with him, it was fun at times, but there was times that you just wanted to go at. I wanted to go at it with him. Yeah. So let me get into what it takes to live independently. First of all, it takes a lot of motivation and a lot of there's a lot of things in the back end that you need to prepare before even living independently, physically, emotionally, and just mentally. And mentally, you need to find the right care team, people that are going to be around the clock. Just finding PCAs is it's a difficult part of it, but once you find your support system and your staff, and they live in they you have they're living with you and it's all around the clock help. Just being able to have your PCAs, like just getting them together to agree with each other to if one needs a day off or anything. You can also there's also nursing programs and nurses that will come in and be your nurse for in your apartment for helping you take care of other type of things. PCAs are paid through a agency, which here in Massachusetts it's Tempest. They'll help you find PCAs, and it's run by Mass Health. So you're doing, you're also it's also basically a full time job for you because you're doing the billing, you're finding your PCAs, you're hiring, you're firing, and you're making sure that they get to work and there's coverage. Yeah, so we're not without anyone. Um, like overnight, we need PCAs to help us, and you just gotta make sure they come to work. Make sure if they can't, you have coverage because if you don't have coverage, you'll have no one, and sometimes you gotta rely on your parents coming over to help you, but it shouldn't be that way. So having the PCAs and the nursing helps a lot, takes a lot of the stress off our parents, knowing that we have the right help and the right staff. But yeah, that part is somewhat easy, but there is times that it's not. Yeah, you just gotta pull through it and just be strong and just it's gonna work out. For us, at first it was tough finding people. There's a lot of turnaround, a lot of turnaround. So you're hiring new people and firing people all the time. So you got to find the perfect people and try to get them to work for you for years. Yeah, multiple years, and like I said, you can also get nursing, which is they that's a, nursing is paid from the state, so they do their own billing and everything, and they're licensed nurses, and they'll come and help you with nursing type of thing. That's another thing you can add to having someone around the clock, so you know, so your parents parents are always going to worry. So if you have the perfect staffs and the perfect people around you, they worry less, but they're still gonna worry. But having all these like programs, there's a bunch of programs that you can use that will help you pay for your apartment bills and rent. So what we do, we pay half of our rent, and then we have um affordable living. So the government or the state pays the other percentage for us, and that helps lower the rent cost because a normal rent cost for an apartment like this is like 3,800, and we don't we can't we don't have jobs, so we gotta live off Social Security disability. So it's not enough sometimes. Yeah, and with all these government funded things, if you make a certain amount of money, they'll stop paying your insurance, and it's just all a pain in the butt. You got to think about that when you're living independently too. But we got through all those obstacles. There's a lot of bills you have to pay. You got to pay electricity. You got to pay gas. You have to have money for groceries. Just have money for even entertainment like TV, Wi-Fi. Like you learn, we learn the hard way. You need to have the funds. So whatever way that you can make money is the way we got to do it when you're disabled. So you got to remember that stuff. You got to have your plan on how you're gonna pay your stuff and just budget your money. Living independently it's awesome. You have your own stuff. You you have your own everything. But when you move out of your parents' house, it's gonna cost you more because when you're living at home, they were paying most of the bills, and if you weren't paying rent, you really didn't have to pay for anything. But now that we're living independently, we're paying for all our bills, all our amenities and bills. Yeah, so like when we first moved in, we were spending a lot of money and taking long showers, and then we come to realize when you take long showers or we have our lights on all the time, it's gonna cost more. So we learned the hard way of learning how to budget the money, living independently, and just paying for our bills. Yeah, living independently is it's a it's a big accomplishment for when you're disabled. Doesn't matter what disease you have. Me and Troy both have Duchenne's, so we live independently with Duchenne's. But any disability, anyone who has a disability can live independently. You just gotta be able to put your mind to it, have a great support system around you, and just just do it. So yeah, so independent living is rough at times, but we figured it out. We figured it out, and like when we first moved in to our first apartment, obviously we didn't get first floor. We were up on the third floor, and the one worry we had was getting out of the building when the fire alarm went off. But we managed that pretty well. We made sure the fire department knew that we lived up there, and they knew. So if anything happened, they knew that we were up there and then we needed help to get down. So that worked out. And then eventually we got to move down to our first floor unit, which has been amazing because everything's right there for us. The door, it's just it made life easier for us and our roommate. So like yeah, we our our daily like plan throughout the day will be like our PCAs will come, get us up, get us ready. We plan dinner. We cook the dinner. And we have a PCA that comes in and helps us with it. But yeah, so we manage all our cooking, all our shopping, and luckily now you have delivery for shopping. So we get on the Walmart app, we purchase our groceries, and someone delivers it for us. So it 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 does make life easier for disabled people. And I think nowadays it's so much easier for disabled people to live independently because we have all these programs and all these adaptive technologies. Um, just having that is a big help for the disabled community. Yep, it is. It's a huge help. Um, and just managing cleaning your apartment, keeping your apartment clean. That's stuff that some people take for granted, and we don't because we can't do it, but we show people that we can do it. So independent living is possible for anyone that has a disability. You just gotta, like Andrew said earlier, you gotta have that support system and the help because there is gonna be times that you need your parents where things get difficult, but you just gotta pull through it and it's gonna be okay. Yeah, you could have your own things. You could like we have a dog that we bought, and she's been a nice addition to our family, living independently. So that you can have your own things. You can have a car. You just you gotta put your mind to it. Don't be discouraged because you're disabled or not motivated because that doesn't matter. It it's it's all about what you want to do. You can do. Yeah. So more on living. So you have PCAs that will help. They help with the daily life. So they they'll help clean up a little for you, their hygiene, showers, just do things around the house, your errands for you, maybe take you to the doctor's appointments. You gotta worry about that type of stuff too. You gotta have a schedule around living independently because you need to work with the PCAs and PCAs have to work with you. With you, yep. So having a maybe like a schedule, having like the PCAs all know each other. Like us, we have they're all can contact each other. So if one PCA wants a day off, they'll they'll ask another PCA to cover. Sometimes sometimes it can be difficult finding people that want to work certain hours, but it works out. It works out at the in the long run. So you just gotta just work on it and just have those people around you that you know that you can trust that will be there and not leave you hanging. Yeah, so it living independently is it obviously sometimes it's fun. Like when you have your roommate, you can have a fun time. Like we we have get-togethers. You could have we do parties, Christmas time. Our family come over. Um, we have a we live a normal life, even though we have a illness like this, but we don't want to get in our way, and we want to live independently. We tell our parents, we want to live independently. Sure, let's figure it out. And you can live independent. Yeah. So getting away from the part of like hiring and just that part, being living independently, it is also fun because you have your own stuff, you have your own space, and you just can do stuff you want and not worry that it's not your place. Like having our roommate who also has Duchenne's. He helps us with paying bills, with financing. Like having another thing is living independently. It's having a roommate can also help a lot because they're helping financially pay the bills and just being around. Yeah, so like if there's some things we can't do, our roommate can do and help us with. Like for example, we have our dog, and when she needs to go out, he can open the door to let her out, and it's some stuff that we can't do. We have a harder time, and he has a more easier time. So having a roommate does help a lot, and it's fun to have the roommate. Yeah, like we'll we walk our dog, we go for long walks, we have a good time. We listen to music, have our own stuff, watch sporting events, and watch movies, and have a great time sometimes. So independent living is not all. It's not always stressful. It's times there is stress when like you gotta pay a bill, but you don't make enough money. So that sometimes gets you mentally, but we work it out. We get the help from our parents, which we have to give them a lot of credit because if it wasn't for our parents, we wouldn't be living independently. They help a lot with it, like getting things for our apartment, helping us, making sure that our everyday life is as simple as it can be. And parents, they're everything. You need the support system and your parents to help because if it wasn't for them, like I said, we would not be in this situation. Like, look, we live in a beautiful luxury apartment, 3 bedroom, and we all have our own personal space. And I know sometimes it's a different circumstances. I know who you don't want to be 25 living in your parents' house, but sometimes it just has to be like that. Like I don't know any 30-year-old that wants to be living with their parents, but it happens. Just different circumstances with different people. But you could be don't discourage. Don't be discouraged at all. You can live independently being disabled. We do it. Yeah, we're doing it now. We're recording our podcast from our office in our beautiful apartment. Yeah, so we live in a nice luxury apartment where they have there's a pool, there's just areas to walk around and just have fun and meet new people. Also, having your neighbors around, talking to new people that live in your complex. That's also fun because you're getting to know more people and they also look after you sometimes if something's going on or they they're there to make sure sometimes you're good. So meeting new people around your community is a big thing too because then you have someone that you know that say you are stuck. Maybe you give them a call or a text and they come down or wherever you live and help you. Yeah, just just the fact of meeting new people is good for you. Like it's good for your soul to just have other friends and know other people in an apartment complex like this. Everybody knows each other, which is a good thing. Um, yeah. So you say it's so far living independently has been good. There's been ups and downs. Um, there's a lot of ups and downs. There's some days you don't. you're like, why do I do this? Why did I want to live independently? But you just gotta get through it and say, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna wake up the next morning and I'm gonna make just live independently, be happy that I have somewhere to live, and just thank people for being around you and having that support system to help you do that. Yeah. So I know a lot of people like to hear this from me and Andrew, but like there is times that we're just next to each other so much that it gets sometimes annoying and we kind of want to stay away from each other. But that's normal because it even happens with our roommate. He wants to be alone in his room, and me and Andrew want to be alone in our rooms. But we live in a space that you can't really get away from each other. So sometimes there's arguments, sometimes there's fights, but you know, it we all work it out at the end, yeah, and we're always going to be friends. Living That's another thing about living independently. You want to live independently with your friends or your brother, and you end up not liking living with them because everyone has their own quirks and whatever they want to do in their apartment. So sometimes we will fight about how we want something, and the other one doesn't want it like that, or we're bothering each other and going to each other's rooms. You gotta remember that too. When you want to live so bad with your friends, and then once you live with them, you end up hating their guts. Yeah, but it's a different circumstance with me and Andrew and our friend Mark. But we've been best friends for our whole life, so it's like we get mad at each other, but we work it out. We're all brothers, so you gotta that's another part that you have to remember too when living independently. Every you Everyone has their own way, so you gotta give each other space and respect each other and their space. Yeah, but other than that, we have a good time. Like we all shop together, we make the same food together. We it, it's it's fun living independently. Like I know they call me the boss in here. Um, I like to control everything. I'm not gonna deny that I do. So Mark and Andrew always like they leave it up to me if we need something done. They'll tell me to do it, but sometimes they get on my case for it. Hey, you wanted to be top of the lease. You're top of the lease now. You have They call you for everything. You have to control everything around the apartment. Yeah, so that's what happens when you want to be the head of household. And now most of the things that are head of household, I have to keep track of, like the lease and all that stuff. I have to fill out. So hey, I kind of got the hard job, and that's my fault for being a big mouth. But I just advocate for my friends and my brother. We advocate for each other, and that's all I want. I want the best for us three. Yeah, advocating for the disabled community, to live independently, to do what you want, live life to the fullest, because you can. There's no one can stop you. Live your life and be strong, even though you have a disability. That's what I say to everyone who has a disability. Don't let it define you. You define it your own disability. So if you want to do something, you go and do it. Don't let anybody else out there say, "Oh, you can't do it because you're disabled." Yeah, it's not true. You can. And I want a lot of the younger generation to see how we do things and they can mimic it. And when they're older in the future, like me and Andrew, we we like to bring a lot of awareness to our disability, Duchenne's. And I know a lot of parents and kids with Duchenne's are gonna love hearing this podcast because it motivates them and they see that we're doing it. So it makes them happy and makes their hearts feel better, and it just makes them worry less. Like seeing us going through all this stuff and being motivated. It's great to see. Yeah. So anyone out there that that wants to try living independently, or even like trying to see what it's like, we're always around. Give us a call or a text. We'll put it on. We'll put it in our email in the our email, and ask us questions. And we can help you. We can help you with any questions you have about living independently. Me and Andrew are here, our friend Mark. We all answer emails, and we can help you guys out. Yes. So if there's any questions on like how we started, how we got to this, so yeah, being independent is probably one of the biggest goals that I've completed. Yep. In my life, living with Duchenne's. Yep. Same here, and I also say our friend Mark probably agrees with us too. Um, about living independently. He does a lot for our podcast too. He does most of the background work, sets up the phone, sets up the volume, and gets us ready for our podcast. So he's a great help and a good roommate to live with. And he's 27 with Duchenne's and thriving like us, living independently. So anyone can do it. Just got to put your mind to it and be strong about it. Yeah, that's all. And like, there's some funny things that have happened to us living independently. Like when we lived at our parents', we could spend all our money on Amazon packages, getting things that we wanted, like sneakers, clothes. But living independently, we've learned that you gotta save your money, and you can't just spend it on random things like that. Yeah, now it's a big responsibility. I'm going to tell you that living independently is a big responsibility, because if you don't have money to pay a certain bill, the outside world doesn't care. They don't care. They'll shut it off. Disabled or not, they'll shut it off. You won't have Wi-Fi. They'll they'll add more money on top. It's That's the only thing about living independently. You're they don't care if you're able-bodied or not, or disabled. Bills are bills. So you have to save some money for that. But we're not saying that you can't have fun. Buy stuff. Say you collect something, and you're like me and Troy. We have our hobbies. We collect baseball cards. So when we have a little extra money, we'll buy a pack of baseball cards. And say we have a little extra money, we'll get takeout. Well, DoorDash is a dangerous thing. That's the number one kill living alone. Or ordering food. Having DoorDash. But it's a help for disabled people, because we can't just hop in the car and go pick up pizza down the street. We'll call some DoorDash, and they'll deliver it to us. Does get expensive, but it gets expensive, and it's dangerous because we're ordering food from all over the place. Yeah, so like we do cook a lot. We come up with recipes. We make crock pot meals. We grill with our PCAs. But like Andrew's saying, the money, you gotta be careful. Sometimes you gotta know how to manage it. Like when we first moved in, we had cable, Xfinity, and it got so expensive that we had to get rid of it and just live off Wi-Fi and streaming apps. But that helps a lot. And nowadays, our parents have their streaming apps, so they let us use their accounts, and it helps a little with spending less money. But like we 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 learned, and we know how to manage our money now, so we spend it accordingly. Just having a budget. That's all you need, is a budget. to live independently and have what you want. That's it. Yep, and it's easy. It's not hard at times. It's easy sometimes, hard at times. But yeah, I feel like once you get all the hard parts out of the way, you there's some smooth months, years that you have your help and everything just runs smooth. Yep. It's good. It's fun living independently, I gotta say. I have a good time. Um Only when my brother's not annoying me. And he knows he likes to annoy me. Yeah, you too. But it it's fun. We like to annoy each other, even during the podcast, because we fight all the time in the background. Um, yeah. So today's podcast, it was about living independently, and I feel like we touched on most of the parts, and it was a great podcast. I think this time around. Um, is there any more things we should touch on? I think we touched up on pretty much everything um that we needed to. It was a fun podcast. Um, I think we'll have a little video montage at the end showing some stuff that we do around the apartment. Just live how we live independently. Some photos of going out and just showing you how we do things independently, walking our dog, and a bunch of other things. So make sure you guys watch to the end, and you make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube. Um, that's that's the biggest thing. We need the followers, and we need people to spread this around. Yeah, more support. We just need more support. The more support, the more episodes that we can do, and the more it gets out there. Yes. So awareness with disability. The links will be in our bio on Instagram and on our YouTube, and we'll post things so you guys know where to find us. So if there's any questions about living independently, feel free to email us. We'll leave that in the bio too. And I hope everybody has a nice day today. And bye. We'll see you next time. Okay. See you later, everyone. Yep. Bella. Bella's going for her night stroll. This puppy Luck. We're gonna get trapped. Mark trap.
Yeah, awesome.
That's funny. What do you mean we're just shut all the way? Hi everybody, it's Troy. I'm gonna show you a little bit of our apartment. Here's me coming in through the hallway. We got our kitchen in here, our everyday needs, food. We got our fridge right here. You can see. We got a whole setup. One of these cabinets is our liquor cabinet. You gotta have one of those in your apartment. And this is the living room where we chill, hang out. Got the couch right here. Got another couch right here. Our shelf where all our stuff on. And then you got the entertainment system right here. You gotta have the PS5. We got that in our house. You gotta have one of those. Here's the counter. We sit at and we eat our dinner. Here's the outside view. A bunch of windows. Here's the oven, microwave. Yeah, so this is how we do independent living. I'm gonna take a ride into the rooms, show you some of the things we got in our room. So this is me and Andrew's space. We got the TV. We got Andrew's bed. We got my bed right here. And we got our daily medical equipment, our cough assist, our BiPAP, and our hat, all our hats that we own. Here's the bathroom, which a lot of people like to know when they live independently how their bathroom's gonna be. So we got the essential things that we need. We got our Hoyer lift. Got our shower chair, the walk-in shower, so we can just get rolled in when we need to take a shower. Yeah, so that's our space. Let me show you our roommate's space. He got a pretty cool space too. Got him and Andrew chilling in his room, playing his computer. He's on his computer right there. See, everybody can see him. There's Mark. Say hi, Andrew. Say hi, Mark.
Hi.
You got Mark's bed. You got his TV. You got his computer playing some video games. Oh, you even got the pup back there sleeping. I don't know if you can see her. Andrew, move out of the way so that they can say hi to the pup. Bella, move out of the way so they can say hi to the pup. Come on. And you gotta have a dog in your apartment. So there's the pup. Say hi to Bella. Bella. Okay, so yeah, this is Mark's room. He has all his things he needs. His BiPAP, his cough assist. He got a walk-in closet. I'm not gonna show you inside there because it's a mess. And he got his bathroom too, but his lights shut off. As you can see, he got his everyday things he needs. He got his walk-in shower with his shower chair. And then I got a important space to us is our office space, where we all do our work in here. Got the podcast table. Right here, we do all our podcasting. We got the computer for gaming. It's Tom Brady sign. Can't forget to show you that. Our vacuum for vacuuming, and our other computer. Yeah, so in a closet that we have storage. Yeah, so it's pretty cool living independently. That's what our apartment looks like. And we even got a balcony, which I could show you the door. We go out there and chill sometimes in our balcony. Yeah, so it's pretty cool, and I just wanted to show some of the younger adults and younger kids with disabilities that living independently can be done. So you gotta put your mind to it and start living independently, and you can do it. This is one of the benefits of living alone, chilling on the balcony.